guys, and welcome to NYG Forecast with Mal. We are here today with my lovely co-host from 14 Rings and NFC East podcast, devoted Cowboys fan, Earl. Earl, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to talk about our matchup this weekend on Sunday. Now, guys, we made it to the final game of the regular season, and unfortunately, that means this is the end of the road and the last time we will see our guys play until September. The Giants and the Cowboys, this will be their last game as they both are out of playoff contention now. Earl, I'm going to let you take it away first, and we'll talk about the Cowboys and we'll kind of banter back and forth from there. So, what are your thoughts and things you're looking for this weekend going into this last regular season game?
First, before I start, thank you so much for allowing me to join the show. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's the end of the road for both our teams this season. All I'm hearing in my head now is the boys to men end of the road, and I'm somewhere in there singing the chorus and stuff. So
Same.
it's
I'm
yeah,
with
but
you.
yeah, but I'm gonna touch base on the Dallas Cowboys real quick. I got a chance to check the injury report. It look like we're gonna have about six guys that's not playing in this game. We got three that are questionable. The guys that are out for this game is TJ Bass as a guard, so I'm not sure who's gonna plug in there. Maybe Nate Thomas. Malik Davis, he's out. Both running backs, Javante Williams and Malik Davis, are out. So it looks like it's gonna be a Phil Maffa and a Jadon Blue debut. So
Okay.
I'm it it varies with that one. I think Izzy Abanacandas might be elevated as well, where I really want to see him because he's that type of back that Shotty wants. So it'll be interesting. I hope we can do a three-headed running back combo for this game just to see what type of running backs you have and make a adjustment. Because I think that Miles Sanders is gone and it's going to be a toss up between Javante Williams. I have an interesting take for you, Mal, on my side of things, but I'm interested to hear on your side for it.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the injury report, we got Demo, he's out. Chavon Ravel is out as well. The man was limping too much to the tail end of the season, so I'm glad they shut him down. And yep, that's it. And then we have Josh Butler, Phil Maffa, and Peyton Turner that are questionable, so they might be able to play in this game. But what I'm looking for in this game, it's plain and simple. Come out of this game injury free. I think the I'm trying to figure out what they're playing for, and the more and more I'm looking at the side of things where yeah they want to leave out on a good note on a dub. I get that. I respect that. But at the same time, I care about your health more for the off season so we can prep and be ready to roll for when let me say August, July and August kicks in for that leading up to the next season. But at the same time, I want these guys to enjoy the time. I want them to be able to go out there, have fun, play the game, but also protect yourself as well. If you got a good lead, get your star guys out of the game and allow your young guys to progress because you need to see what you have on your team, especially on the depth chart going into next season. So Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jay Ferg, if y'all are gonna play to a certain snap count. Hopefully, Shotty has them on a snap count because that's going to be the key for just making sure that you keep these guys healthy going into the off season. And my offensive line, like I'm interested to see how they can finish out and leave out on a bang because I would want them to create a physical presence going into next season where I know I spoke on it last week where I believe my offensive line is a run first offensive line compared to pass pro because one, we don't have the same guys that is used for a pass pro, but we have to try to establish a physical presence into that. So hopefully I'm able to see in this game that they're able to establish a good run game because that's going to be key to see what you have going for Shotty's vision into next season. Because Jerry Jones didn't trust Shotty this season and it showed. He pretty much hired a defensive coordinator before you hired your next head coach. That's some things you don't do. You gotta hire a head coach. So let him to pick his guys. So this whole thing with Eberflus, I'm ready to flush him. Hashtag flush Flus, get him out of this organization. I'm looking forward to Black Monday because we may have a new defense coordinator. I'm very hopeful, keep my fingers crossed. I'm praying for it. Get the right guy in there, but allow Shotty to get his guy. I think that's going to be key. Another thing I'm looking for is my defense establishing somewhat of a pass rush to go into this offseason because the determination factor is, are we going to keep Jadeveon Clowney? He's playing on a 1 year deal where after this season his contract's up. I would want to bring him back. That's going to be a guy that I feel has been helping and mentoring the defensive line, but also helping the defense in a way because last week I saw him chase down Debo Samuel on a run play, and this dude is long in the tooth. And if I'm seeing this guy hustling play after play, I'm excited to see what he does as a full offseason, getting to work out with the team. And him side by side with Ezraku, I think that's going to be a nice tandem. But if you take care of what you need to edge wise this offseason, I think going into the draft, you won't have to feel so much oppressed to getting a guy of an edge early. Now, if they don't do it, I expect them to go get their edge guy in the draft. There's a couple of names I have, but I'll leave that for another episode of Barbershop Talk with JT. And the more I see the edges going, I want them to be able to establish the confidence, leaving on a good note. I also want to see my interior defensive lineman with Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams establishing a presence leading into next season because I do want to retain Kenny Clark, where I know he has a year, maybe a year or two left on the contract. I think it might be 1 year left, but I want them to secure the interior. I want them to secure Quentin Williams. His contract doesn't end until 2027, and I think Clark's end in 2026, but I just want them taken care of. I want them to be the staple for Dallas for the next couple of years, and then after that, they'll have guys that's mentored under them to be able to take over the mantle. But I need to see my defensive interior first establish presence in the trenches, and I need my linebackers to be coherent together where I need to see Kenneth Murray, I need to see Maris Leofau, and I need to see Logan Wilson. Everybody's making a big deal that Kenneth Murray and Logan Wilson, there's a debate going there. They're not looking at the secondary who's getting cooked week after week. So I need my linebackers taken care of. I need Shamar James out there. He's played well this season. He's a rookie. Next season, going in the second year, I expect him to take that next step. But I need to see a tandem of Kenneth Murray, Maris Leofau, and Shamar James. Throw in Logan Wilson as well. Have him mix in with Kenneth Murray, but it's no debate that should be there. And Cowboys Nation, you and I both know that there was no debate going on at linebacker, especially when you see your secondary getting cooked. And then to my secondary, and then I'm going to conclude here. My secondary, somebody make a name for yourself in this game because we let go of the guy that we had, Trayvon Diggs. Now, I'm interested to see who Cowboys Nation is going to try to scapegoat up there because you just took away an all-pro. You took away a Pro Bowler to go to the ops. Now he's over there
Green
with
Bay.
number one, and we had the best in, but you, in your ego, ruined that. Now they're working with the ops. So, Cowboys Nation, I don't know where we're going with this, but we need to be coherent together and figuring out how our secondary is going to be because we're boosting the wrong players where we should be respecting and treating the right players with respect. So my corners, make a name for yourself. Safeties, I'm done with y'all. But try to do what you can for your next job. But hopefully it's not here in Dallas because I am tired of the secondary. I'm ready to clean house because you paid the wrong guys. I believe Bland shouldn't have gotten paid as early as he did, but they were either scrambling or they were trying to punish their star player for some reason instead of trusting and respecting them. But that's for another time. But if I go to recap, I have my offense establishing a run game, physical presence. Same on the defensive line as well, physical presence. Linebackers playing coherent. Secondary, making a name for yourself. Secondary, don't play bad. rest your starters. Don't have them play the whole game. Protect them from themselves. I digress.
Yeah, no, Earl, and honestly, I'm with you. I don't really have much to play for. So I think the craziest thing that's kind of been going on around the Giants fan base right now, and apparently Joe Shane put out his list of potential head coach candidates. I'm not going to get into all that because we'll talk about that on the pod altogether. And
Hmm.
Lucas actually made a poll question for it, so I'm interested to see what other fans say. So we'll kind of dissect that a little more next week.
Okay.
But I
Is
don't really
there is
have.
there any like particular names up there that caught your eye?
You want to know one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm interested.
Mike McCarthy.
That's why I had it there as well. Like between him as an offensive guy, I could see him doing that because
Yeah.
he's like a quarterback whisperer, and like all jokes aside, I could see him working with Dart and just getting the receiver core where they need to be. You might need to just kind of have him lean towards running the ball more because he'll
Yep.
definitely get a little enjoyment of passing game. That's a good one. But another guy would be, hmm, I might throw in, if depending what happens on Saturday, I can see Todd Bowles. I can see Anthony Pierce as another one. Some with a defensive presence that can help, but it's just also trusting in it. But I think if you're really leaning towards an offensive guy, I think Mike McCarthy would be top on that list because he works with quarterbacks very well.
Yeah.
And that is one that if you do land him, then that's a serviceable spot. It's going to be interesting on the rivalry against us, but at that point, you
Absolutely.
that's like working with your quarterback. So I think that's what's really key for you guys.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I'm still stuck on if they should go defensive, offensive head coach when it comes to benefiting Dart.
Hmm.
But this week, I'm more so interested to see how Kafka's final debut plays out because
Hmm.
he is also auditioning for the head coach role, whether it's here or somewhere else in the NFL, which he hasn't looked too great in over the past few weeks. So I'm interested to see what decisions he makes this week. Now, you made a point of you want someone in your secondary to step up and be a
Make a
star.
name for yourself.
Make a name for yourself. This may be the week to do it because let's get to my injury report. It's pretty brutal. So in the offensive side of things, Jalen Hyatt and Theo Johnson have an illness. Now, Hyatt's questionable. Theo Johnson is out. Theo Johnson is the pass catcher that Jackson Dart has a lot of chemistry with. However, I am excited to see Daniel Bellinger in that full time tight end role. I think he's going to do a great job. So I want to see how him and Dart's chemistry kind of has gotten over the past few weeks. So Theo Johnson is out. Evan Neal, usual, did not participate. He's out now. There's something going on in the locker room because there's multiple guys out with an illness. Abdul Carter has been out with an illness. His game status is undetermined. Dexter Lawrence has an illness. He did not play the whole week. His game status is undetermined. So him, Theo, Jalen, Abdul, all sick. Don't know if probably the flu or something. So wish them well. Hope they get better. Now, Cordell Flott is out with a knee injury. Javon Holland is out with a knee injury. Wandale Robinson is out with a rib injury. Raheem Nunez Roches is out with an injury, our defensive lineman. So him and Dex being out would be huge for your run game because we are thin on the interior defensive line if those two guys are out.
Wait,
So
did they practice today?
Dexter Lawrence did not, and Raheem Nunez Roches is ruled out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're both out. So we have a pretty substantial injury report, and that's not even including the guys we have on IR, Andrew Thomas, Kayvon Thibodeau. So it's going to be a lot of depth guys seeing what they got. Now, a lot of fans are really interested in making sure we have a high draft pick. I'm not going to get into all that because I think you pick where you pick is what it is. Would it be great if a QB needy team traded up with us to get a quarterback and we got a haul? Absolutely, but sometimes that's not how things work out. Now, based on how things look, and I wanted to comment on what you were saying when it comes to the health and safety of the players. I understand the concept of wanting to win and go out on a high note. And listen, it's a divisional game. Giants always want to beat the Cowboys. Cowboys always want to beat the Giants. That's just how it's going to be. We have not beaten Dak Prescott. So
2016.
Yeah, since 20, that's 10 years ago. 10. So we have not beaten him. So, Kafka's going to have something to prove. Dart has something to prove. They're going to try. And these are NFL players. So when people say, oh, they should just tank for the pick, these guys are not going to do that. However, I do think for the health and safety of the players, and people may disagree with me on this take, I don't believe that Dart or Dak should be playing more than a half this game with the implications of this game. I think that Jameis Winston should definitely be able to play. I think he should get some snaps. I think that
See
it would
Joe
be
Milton.
I'm really okay with, Jackson Dart getting more of the snaps and like all of that stuff. However, there's been a narrative in the NFL for him now for the past few weeks that he's injury prone and that he's going to have to retire early because of his concussions and the concussion checks and how many concussions he's had. So, in the end, the last thing we need is Dart, tearing his ACL the last game of the season, not being able to come back next year. Then we're back to square one like we always were. So I just hope and, I pray that, we come out of this game healthy, like you said,
Same,
Earl. That's the
same.
biggest thing for me. If any of these guys are feeling remotely sore, sit them for the end of the season. We'll circle back for training camp. We have to make sure that, next year it's a good year going in with the new head coach, with the new coordinators really coming in to hopefully change the culture and the winless, pathetic seasons around. But big things I want to see this game is continued perfection from Ben Sauls, our kicker. Really want to find out how we're going to address that position next year. If he can wind up developing and getting better, great. He's already been pretty reliable since he's came on, but I do want a solid answer at kicker. Another thing that I really want to see is I want to see Jackson Dart, see if he has a consistent game, keep on the momentum. I want to see him play a better team like the Cowboys and have a performance like he did against the Raiders. So, got to see how he does with that. And, I'm always looking at Dart. He's always my number one priority because we're still kind of determining if he's a franchise quarterback and going from there. Another thing that I want to see is I want to see Darius Slayton make some catches. I want to see the wide receivers not dropping passes. Work on catching the ball, work on the fundamentals. And I know that sounds silly because these are NFL guys, but the drops have just been absolutely insane. So I really want to have a really nice, clean game of football on the offensive side. I want to see Tyrone Tracy continue to kind of thrive in how he's been doing and stepping up since Scadaboo got injured. Singletary is having himself a much better season. Kind of a little bit of an underdog. I didn't expect him to kind of have the role that he did this season. So it's nice to have that, where my one issue is not the running back room for once. After Saquon left, I should say.
A couple of games. Credit to him.
Yeah. After Saquon left, like I can say like, I feel pretty good about the running back room going into next year and Scott's progress and with his
Mm.
injury. Other than that though, like I said, I just want them to go out, do what they got to do, stay healthy, have a good time, beat the boys, but probably won't happen. Um, you know, just a good overall conclusion to the season, and hopefully we can move on from this mess.
The dub, they earned it. It's just out there. I
Yeah,
want them to have
GG's.
fun. It's the last game of the
Hmm.
season. Try not to play hero ball. Just go out there, play with your teammates, and try to leave out healthy as possible. And yeah, that's what I want for my team, and I definitely know you want that for your team, and so on. So yeah, there's nothing else left for that is go out there and lace them up, put the helmet on, and go out there and get cracking. So yeah, I did
Yeah,
have a question for you.
yeah.
Now, one of my friends, dearest friends, hit me with this question, and it kind of left me like really thinking. It's the question is, it's a game called Sign, Tag, and Let Walk. So
Okay.
so he hit me with three players on my end, and I haven't gave my answer yet. Where the sign, tag, and let walk, I have the three players he gave me was Brandon Aubrey, Javante Williams, and George Pickens.
Okay.
And I'm to the point now. I know who I would sign. I know who I would tag, but I'm scared of who I would let walk.
Okay. So what's
So
the answer then? Oh, you haven't revealed it yet.
I haven't revealed it yet. I'm
Okay.
really just kind of
I'm
debating if I want to
interested to
do it for the
see.
all season. But is there, I was gonna ask this question to you because do you know anybody who's coming up on a contract who's playing on a 1 year and letting them walk?
Wandale Robinson is coming up on a contract.
Okay, you do
Um,
Wandell.
Let me see some others because I feel like
Is
there's
Brian Burns one?
no, we signed him for 3 years last year.
Right.
Let's see.
You could do Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Um, let's see. All positions. Oh, Jermaine Illuminor, our right tackle.
Okay. If you want to do those three, you could do Wandell, Thibodeau, and Illuminor.
Okay.
Sign, tag, or let
I
walk.
do have a question though. How much is the tag for an offensive lineman?
It's the full. Ooh, I would say it's the full amount. I don't have an exact number for a tackle.
Yeah.
It. How much is he earning right now?
He is earning 7 million a year.
Okay, 7 million. So, let's see.
Wow, Wandale's only making 2 million.
Let's see. That doesn't give me. Okay, so they said for someone of like a defensive tackle, it'll be around 23.4 to 25.1 non-exclusive. But that's for like DT for a tag.
DT.
But I don't
Okay.
see anything for, let's see.
Not like it matters 'cause I think I know my answer.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one because I'm in a debate with that. Okay, so it'll be around 23 to 27 million for a franchise tag.
Okay. All right.
So that's
So,
that's the full amount, and that's even after you do a new contract, and that's
mhm.
money like being spent. That's why I'm trying not to have Dallas tag pickings because that's gonna be a lot of money on a tag, and then not fully getting a secured contract. I would at least I
Yeah.
would at least do it on the running back or
Mhm.
maybe the kicker. But at that point, if you know you're going to get a guy in the draft, you might as well like kind of let one of those guys go. Like I'm leaning towards
Yeah.
either Javante or Aubrey, where
Mhm.
I've seen some kickers this college football playoff. I got one on my list that if he comes out this year, I want him. He can boot it 50, close to 60 yards, and he's doing that outside and in the dome.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I'm keeping a close eye. If you can't find that value there, go ahead and sign your kicker and then let Javante walk because who knows, you might be able to put him on another smaller deal for
Yep.
it. And for the value of it, I think I low key felt that if we brought Javante in this time around, we could have kept Rico Dowdle because that only would have cost us around 2 to 3 mil. And
Mhm.
he was running crazy in Carolina. So I'm a little hurt that if you really was going to go with this route with Shoddy, you should have already executed with getting him his running back. So maybe this game
Right.
shows define his true running back for it. But that question to you of sign, tag, and let walk.
Well, I definitely want to sign Illuminor.
Okay.
He's been a consistent right tackle, has done a great job this year, and I mean, we've had offensive line woes. Getting a solid right tackle, I'm never going to complain about. Now, I don't want to tag Wandale. He is not worth that high amount of the tag for wide receiver. If you don't think Pickens is, Wandale is not. To wrap up that much money on a shorter wide receiver and who really is at his like best, probably a 2 or a 3. I think you can find better value for that in the draft. So I would probably let Wandale walk. Kayvon's been really underwhelming. I mean, he did have some injury issues. And listen, I love Wandale. I would love for him to stay, but I wouldn't be able to justify with our cap issues tagging him. I couldn't justify
So
it.
So you think you would
Um,
tag Thibodeau?
I mean, if I had to, yeah, because, and the only reason why is because he's a homegrown first round talent who has shown bits and pieces of it. I would
Mhm.
want to give him a shot with the new defensive coordinator. And, our pass rush, it's one of the best parts of our team. Learning under Brian Burns is, a big service to him. So if it were to sign Illuminor, tag Kayvon, let Wandale walk.
Okay, that's fair. And if that is the case, I would look into the receiver in college. I think his name is Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
He's one guy that I've been seeing on the list as well. And
Hmm.
I'm low key scared if y'all get him. I'm just like, oh my gosh, they added another
Oh man.
top
Yeah.
notch receiver for that. They already got the. I think y'all already got the quarterback. Like
Yeah.
for real though, because I saw Dart at Ole Miss and he does the things that an NFL quarterback can do. I would just minimize his running a little bit, allow him to work the pocket a little more, and just allow him to use his ability while he has it. Because I do know that he was coming off of a knee injury in his last year at Ole Miss and stuff, but it was really cool that he was able to run as much as he did this season. But yeah, just try to get him more in the pocket a little more, but you also got to protect him as well. So I think having a Luminor there as well, try to solidify your offensive line to protect your franchise
Yep.
quarterback.
And that's always the most important thing. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here, Earl?
Yes, I know
Okay.
that barbershop talk is gonna be. I'm gonna do a lot more of those during the off season, but at the same time, what I have for the Dallas Cowboys, I was probably gonna save this for the pod, but then I was just like, you know what, bump it because it's been a lot of chatter between Micah with the whole dig signing with Green Bay and media firing back at Micah and stuff like that.
Saw that.
It's it's no point. He's no longer at the star. Just give him a fair tribute, leave him alone, and do the same for Diggs as well. For it, you're trying to spear a narrative that you got the zombie mob executing on that and just making it just blown out of proportion. But I think the biggest thing that Cowboys Nation you need to take a look at is understanding what took place before we started this season, where everybody co-signed on the Micah trade, which was the silliest thing, the dumbest thing you could ever do. Eberflus was the cornerstone of it, but then you had Shoddy and then other people behind it, and I'm just like, do you know? Do you not know what generational talent is? Where you
Yeah.
could have made the same moves that you could have with bringing interior pressure. You would have gotten Quinnen as well if you would have just been the gambler you are, Jerry, into that. I think they just really just dropped the ball, especially on the defense with this. They not only let go of guys that are pretty much Pro Bowlers this season, and I didn't even get into this. I had to look at this and I was sick to my stomach. I got Demarcus Lawrence leading in Pro Bowling. Got Micah Parsons there as well. Got Jordan Lewis going there as well. And then Luke Gifford on special teams. And I'm looking at these guys that are pretty much cornerstones of Dallas, especially on the defense side and special teams. And they're making Pro Bowls with other teams. I just feel like you let
Yeah.
go of the wrong guys where you could have understood that, hey, if you were going to trade Micah, you could have kept Demarcus Lawrence. If you would have known that Deron Bland had foot troubles and Diggs having a tough time on the field, you would have kept Jordan Lewis there as well as a veteran presence. And
Mm-hmm.
then also you execute having your special teams be better, and then you could have had Luke Gifford. But Luke Gifford was kind of a toss up. But Marcus Lawrence and Micah and Jordan Lewis making plays. And I forgot about my boy Nashawn Wright as well. They traded with I think it was Chicago or Minnesota for Andrew Booth. And I'm looking at Nashawn Wright have a Pro Bowl season. He got snubbed by DeJean, where I think that was Wee Woo, where he should have gotten
Wee
a
woo.
nod over DeJean,
Yeah.
especially with his turnover ratio and making
Mm-hmm.
immediate impact. Nashawn Wright should have got that spot. He might still be able to, only time will tell. But Dallas, you're goofy with what you're doing with handling the defense. You're goofy with what you're trying to do to handle your head coach. Allow the head coach to coach. I digress. Just some crazy things that
I
really messed up
know.
the special season.
I know, and we have a lot to talk about this offseason, Earl, because I feel like it's going to be a big one for both of our teams. Make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube at 14 Rings and NFC East Podcast. That's where you can get our original YouTube videos. So NYG Forecast with me, Barbershop Talk with Earl, and then Lucas and Maurice's individual episodes for the Commanders and Eagles are also on here. And then you can also view our podcast on here, as well as Spotify, iHeartMusic, Amazon Radio, and then make sure that you follow all of us on our socials at 14 Rings and NFC's podcast. And Earl, I just want to thank you so much for coming on today. It was really good to talk ball with you, always is. We have a
Likewise.
classic Cowboys Giants matchup this weekend. As always, it's great to play you guys. GG's. We'll see what happens.
And new GGs as well. Everybody come out this game safe and yeah, just having a good old rivalry battle.
Absolutely. Now, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys on 14 Rings NFC podcast next week. Everybody have a good night.
Blessings. Peace.